because they're not at a point of maturity, maybe emotionally and mentally, they have not grown up in certain ways.
Okay.
These men, they don't need a wife right now. They don't need a girlfriend right now. They may need counseling. They may need deliverance. They may need Christian brothers to come alongside them to
Yeah.
help them to grow up in some key areas.
Yeah.
I think the first thing she should do, of course, celebrate a bit. If she likes the guy back. But if she doesn't like the guy, I think that she should not lead him on.
She should not lead him on.
No, she should not lead him on. Just make it clear as nicely as possible that she's not interested. Because there are times when you're single and you feel that you will pass the time with a guy until the perfect guy, the guy who you really would like comes along, and you
Yeah.
just use that guy because you need company to go to the movies, to go to weddings, etc. So if you're not interested in him, definitely please leave him be. If you like him and you're not sure he is interested in you,
Yeah.
well then you just need to treat him like a friend and just be yourself. So I have some points here.
Yeah.
Befriend him, treat him like a fellow brother if he's a Christian, and enjoy his company. Let him get to know you. Because even if he doesn't like you right now, maybe in the future he might like you. But if he doesn't like you in the future, at least you would have been a brother for life, a
Yeah.
friend. Treat him with respect. Encourage him. Just be there for him as a
Yeah.
friend. And you just never know how things might roll in the future. Just be a woman that a man could enjoy.
Okay, nice. So what if it's the case where you like him, he likes you, and the vibes,
Woo!
they feel the vibes, they feel the chemistry. How do you go about that kind of scenario?
Well, that's a winner. That's a winner situation. I would suggest, of course, still befriending him because it's too soon to make a decision if you're going to be with him into marriage.
Yeah.
So befriending him is still very important. Then, of course, praying and trusting God, like if He is really the person for you. So you have to be in prayer concerning this thing because marriage is very important and it's serious business, and you don't necessarily want to end up with a guy that you will regret marrying in the future.
Okay.
And as I said before, just be yourself. Don't overthink it. Don't be thinking about the wedding bells, dreaming about him to the all in ending up at the altar too soon. He might turn out to be a psycho,
Yeah.
or he may not be a good fit for you. So
Yeah.
please, I think sometimes, especially for women like me, I have gone to all female school.
Okay.
And sometimes we just don't have good relationships with the opposite sex.
Okay.
And when you are single for a while, you might overthink when a guy is interested in you,
Yeah.
and you end up going too far ahead in the relationship. And the guy has made no commitment to you whatsoever. He's just interested in you.
Baby, so which part you live? You know me and my mother live though. Red flag.
Now, before I say that, yes, people might think that a lot of women don't like men and are men bashers, and because a lot of us have been influenced by feminist ideals,
Yeah.
and but I know there are lots of good men, including yourself, including my husband,
Thank you.
and I
Thank
am
you.
surrounded by a lot of good men. So let me just say, I
Yeah.
am not a man basher,
Got
but
it.
I
Got it.
am for people marrying a healthy, godly man. This is
Okay.
for Christian women. So I have a list.
Okay. Tell me. Tell me.
So they are Christian men. I believe they're sincerely Christians,
Yeah.
but they have a lot of issues.
Okay.
And because they're not at a point of maturity, maybe emotionally and mentally, they have not grown up in certain ways. These men, they don't need a wife right now. They don't need a girlfriend right now. They may need counseling. They may need deliverance. They may need Christian brothers to come alongside them to
Yeah.
help them to grow up in some key areas.
Yeah.
The unbelieving guy, as a Christian woman, I know it is tempting. I have got falling into that temptation of
Really.
liking a non-believing guy.
Yeah.
That's no, because you cannot experience true oneness with someone who is not a fellow believer, who doesn't have the Holy Spirit inside of them, and who is not walking in the direction that you would like to walk as a Christian woman.
Okay.
So an unbelieving guy is a no-no.
Yeah.
Then there's the immature Christian guy. There are two main categories for the immature Christian guy. The one who has just come to Christ. Sometimes a new guy comes to the church, and the woman, they're already complaining there are not enough men, Christian men in the church.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in, and for the poor guy, he's just probably given his life to Christ.
Yeah.
And all these women looking at him eagerly.
Yeah.
This man, he needs time to grow, because you don't know who he really would become if he's really serious about his walk with the Lord. So give him some space.
Yeah.
Give him some time to independently grow in his walk with God without you.
Okay.
So those are the guys who have just come to Christ. And then there are people who might be Christians 10, 20 years and still not growing up. They're in the category of immature. In the Bible, we call them maybe carnal or worldly. They have decided not to grow up.
Yeah.
And that's not the kind of guy, although he might be Christian, that you don't want to be with. Then there's a guy who is married. Of course, that's a no-no. Thing. His wife doesn't deserve him. She is not healthy. She's a toxic woman. It doesn't matter what you think about the woman,
Yeah.
the practice and the God, he's still married.
Okay.
And related to that, the guy who has been separated from his wife, under God and in the law, he is still legally married.
Okay.
So, regardless of the sad stories,
Yeah.
maybe it was a bad choice he made. The fact is, he is still married, so you need to stay away from persons who are separated from their wives.
Okay.
And then there are, of course, unhealthy guys, like a guy who's overly jealous, the guy who is abusive. That's a no-no, even if he claims to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Don't even go there. And then there are guys, you think they're Christians, but they're not. They are
Okay.
pretenders.
Yeah.
And they might just come into your life to steal from you.
Yeah.
And then there's the manipulative guy. And then there's the victim mentality kind of guy,
Yeah.
that everybody's to blame for his sad lot in life except himself. He has not become a mature adult to take on the responsibility that he must take on to blossom, to grow, to thrive as a mature adult, responsible guy. So I think those are
Yeah.
some of the
That was very good, actually. Very good.
So if you are interested in a guy, so here are some do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
So don't be too eager. Don't just forget about your life, forget about your friendships and your family, and you put all in, and you just come across as a woman who is too desperate.
Yeah.
And don't be too intense too. Some women, especially Christian women, they have just begun to know a guy just simply expressing interest, and you're already telling him that he needs to hear God, you need to enter into a 40-day prayer and fasting. He needs to be certain that you're the woman
Yeah.
before he even starts to even get to know you. That's like overboard.
Yeah.
At this stage, you just simply want to get to know the Christian brother and see if you have the rapport, see if you have the similar values, see if your walk with the Lord is aligned, see if you want to support him in his purpose and he's supporting you. These are the basic things that you want to get in initially.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, don't play with his heart. If you're not interested in him, leave him alone. Don't just use him just because you're single and you need a crutch. You need
Yeah.
someone to go to movies with, you need someone to take taste. Your cousin's wedding. Avoid the marriage talk early on.
Interesting.
It will chase a man away. If he
Okay.
hasn't initiated, now some men are serious,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they get earlier clock, they would say, I'm interested in you for marriage. Maybe this guy has been looking at you for a period of time and he knows that this is the kind of woman. If
Yeah.
the guy hasn't come and said, I'm interested in you for marriage, to getting to know you, then you as a woman, please don't bring up
They'll
the
bring up
marriage
marriage talk.
early in the
Yeah.
relationship. Um, I'm into smiling and having a positive attitude.
Yes, that definitely helps.
So, yes, it does help. And I remember when I was, early in ministry,
Yeah.
I had to make lots of phone calls. I got the tip that if you smile on the phone, people can sense your smile. So
Really? That's so interesting.
just relax,
Yeah.
smile, enjoy yourself, be positive, grow as a woman. Don't smother him. Sometimes women, we want all of the guy's time. We don't want him to be with his male friends. We don't want him to go and hang out with others. We just want him to spend all of his time with us. That's a bad idea,
Yeah.
because we need others in our lives, help us to grow, and he needs others, and he needs other men in particular.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
Would be have a life beside him,
Yeah.
so that you have other things to talk about. He will know that you don't want to put a weight on a guy thinking that he's responsible for your happiness.
Okay.
He's responsible for your life. No, he's not responsible. God is responsible.
Yeah.
And so have a life on your own and enjoy your own life even while you're getting to know someone.
Yeah.
Show interest in him. Be patient and of course enjoy the entire process. Keep your heart open to others. This might sound controversial, but you
Yeah.
don't know if you end up marrying this guy. So
Okay.
unless you are in courtship and you're heading towards marriage, if another guy starts talking to you and this other guy is talking to you at the same time, that's fine. You're making friends.
Okay.
You
So
could be a player,
should
but
you
you're
be
making
open about that though? If you're talking to him, he's interested, and then this other guy comes, should you let him know that, hey, you're talking to someone else?
if he's interested and you just think he's interested,
Yeah.
that's different from if a guy says, I'm interested in the purpose of getting to know you for marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
That is a bit more serious, and you
Okay.
probably would want to just give him that attention to figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you think he likes you, and others think that he likes you, and you like him back, he has made no commitment
Got
to
it.
you.
Yeah.
So then you are making no commitment to him. You can talk to others as well.
Okay.
So it depends on what he has said and what he has expressed. And for us as women, I think it's very important that we don't we hear from him that
Yeah.
he's interested in us, and not
Okay.
just think that
yeah.
all his signs line up, because a guy could be interested in you but not interested in you enough to make a move. He might find you pretty,
Yeah.
he might find he enjoys your company, but he may not be interested in you to take any step of marriage.
Yeah.
So you need to not put your eggs in all baskets and think just because he calls you ever so often that
Yeah.
he's the one you're going to get married, and there are other guys who might be interested as well, and you just say no, I think he's going to get married, and that guy has said nothing. If he
Yeah.
hasn't said nothing, you are totally ignorant. You don't know for certain.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I'm not a player. I'm not 10% players. But if a guy has not said anything, you are not a mind reader.
Yes. I agree.
And yes, I think just be in the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy being his friend. Enjoy getting to know him. Allow him to get to know the real you.
Okay. Got it.
So let me just give you a backdrop that I was in a relationship for like 5 years.
Okay.
When I was probably in my early 20s, and that did not work out. And then I stayed single in terms of not having a relationship for about 13 years thereafter.
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years. So there are guys that will come who I would be interested in, who would be interested in me, or
Yeah.
a mutual interest. But I think before my husband Jonathan, there was one other guy, two other guys who expressed serious interest,
Okay.
meaning that they communicated to me that they're interested in me for marriage.
Okay.
I was interested in the first one,
Okay.
and the second one. We were both interested, but I realized that that would not have worked out.
Okay.
And so John and I met when I was working in Jamaica,
Okay.
and we had lots of mutual friends.
Okay.
So we're probably in the same circle. And I was on staff with the same organization that John was a part of when he was a student. So
Okay.
we had invited John and his group to an event, and he came. And I said, like, hey, kind of cute. But I was shy, so
Okay.
when I'm shy with a guy that I'm interested in, I tended to be very serious
Okay.
and not very
So
relaxed.
no
So he felt
smiling.
no smiling at that time. That picture with the smiling came about 2 years or 3 years after that. So he didn't think I was interested in him,
Okay.
and but I also wasn't interested that much to it. I thought he was cute, but
Yeah.
at that time I was very rigid in my beliefs, and I felt that I need to be with a man who was in full-time Christian ministry.
Okay.
So John wasn't, as I was like, he probably not serious about his work with the Lord. Very early as well, but I must
Yeah.
admit I did have that. I was very limited
Yeah.
I wasn't very open to a lot of men,
Okay.
and we remained friends. So I went back to Trinidad and Tobago, which is where I'm from, and we will talk to each other like once a year. And then in I think the end of 2016, one of my friends was going to John's father's church,
Yeah.
and so I said, let me reach out to John and find out, just to look out for her
Yeah.
because she was new.
Okay.
And then we began to talk about all kinds of things, and the conversation lasted for quite a few hours on Facebook Messenger. And then we moved it to WhatsApp and began to talk regularly, and it was just fun.
Yeah.
And I think we were both at the point where we were open
Okay.
and ready. And then John made the first move in that way.
Okay.
So I initiated the conversation because I
Yeah.
needed help with my friend. So that was my only motivation.
Yeah.
And then he realized that, he really thought that I was the one for him. And a few months after, he told me that he was interested, and I was already, falling for him as well because we spoke so often.
Yeah.
And it was fun talking with him.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then we decided to enter a relationship. We got to court a few months after, and the following year we got engaged, and the year after we got married.
Okay.
So that's
Very
the
nice. Wonderful. And how long are you married for now?
4 years.
That's 4 years. You recently celebrated your wedding anniversary.
Yes,
Congratulations.
4 years.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, for the one of the relationships that didn't work out early in your 20s, why didn't it work out? What would you say are the number one or two reasons?
One, main one was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
It was emotionally abusive,
Mm,
and he was a good man, in other
Yeah.
ways. But you see, sometimes when people are in an abusive family setting,
mm,
they tend to also take on some aspects that are not very healthy.
yeah. Yeah.
So that was just up and down emotionally, and
Yeah.
then we both realized, no, this is not going to work out. Let's just forget about it.
Yeah.
But he really is a good,
Mm,
godly man,
yeah.
to be honest with you. And I have no an animosity toward him in my heart at all,
Yeah.
at all. Sometimes I go forget I was in that relationship, to be honest with you, when I was like 5 years.
Okay.
And so God bless him, God bless his
Yeah.
wife. I'm just happy for him.
Okay.
And the other one that I was not interested in him. I think part of the reason is I think respect is very important for a woman, and admiration. And well, he's a nice guy too. I did not feel that way about him because I think deep down he's not someone that I admired or respected
Yeah.
highly.
Yeah.
although he's a good guy. And the other guy, he had I think he was a player. He was a Christian as well,
Yeah.
but he still had some player tendencies, and I wasn't about to go there. But
Yeah.
a good man as well. And if he would grow in those areas, which I think,
Yeah.
God can help him. God can help him to grow in these areas. And John, my husband, we both felt that it was good. I
Yeah.
enjoy John. His parents liked me. I liked them. My parents liked John. Our circle of influence. So John spoke to his friends about me before he decided to make it serious.
Okay.
So that was good of him to do.
Yeah.
And I definitely involved my friends. I let
Yeah.
them know what was happening. And they also found that it was a good match.
Yeah. And
So they
John
are, and I think that was
and John moved to Trinidad to be with you. That was awesome. What was that
yes.
discussion like?
Well, that was an initial plan, because I was studying at the time. So when
Yeah.
we started to talk, I know I had a government bond to keep,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So that was the initial
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
and then I decided to go to Jamaica for a time. Things changed, and I was going to Jamaica, and then another big situation happened
Yeah.
that caused it to go back to that.
Okay.
So it's just
Yeah,
circumstances
sir.
that both of us were flexible enough to go wherever we believe God wanted us to be. And if another time God wants us to go into Jamaica or some other country, we're open
Yeah.
because you have to live a surrendered life to God. It's not about whose country we should live in. We should
Yeah.
live in where God wants us to live in because all countries belong to Him.
Amen. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go into some rapid fire questions. I asked John these questions in advance, 10 questions, and the answer is either going to be Kim or John, okay? So I'm going to
Okay.
record your answers first, and then at the end, I'm going to show you how you both did on the same questions.
Okay. No explanation, just Kim or John.
Just Kim or John. If you want to explain after, then fine. But
Oh,
initially,
okay,
just
okay.
Kim or John. All right, so let's go. I asked you this already, actually. Who made the first move?
John.
Okay. Who's the best driver?
John.
Okay. Who's the best chef?
John.
Okay. Who is a pickier eater?
John.
Awesome, John. All right. Who's more romantic?
John.
Okay. Who snores louder?
John.
Oh, really? Who stays up later?
John.
Who's clumsier?
John.
Okay. Who's a better dancer?
Wait, all these things are very biased to what John is John.
Really? Okay, interesting. And who was the first to declare their love?
John.
John. Okay, so you're all Johns. Okay, let me tell you how he did. So number one, who made the first move? John. You both said John. So great. 1 out of 10. Who's the best driver? You both said John. 2 out of 10. Who's the best chef? John said Kim. Kim said John.
I'm the better baker, but I think he is the better
Cook.
one cooks better.
Okay, got it. Who is a picker eater? You both said John. Who's more romantic? You both said John. Who snores louder? John said, I don't know, I'm asleep, LOL. And you said John, so I guess it's John.
But he doesn't store that much, so
Okay. Who stays up later? John said, definitely John. You said John. Who's clumsier? You both said John. Who's a better dancer? You both said John. And who was the first to declare their love? And you both said John. So you both know each other pretty well. Okay, very nice. So tell me, Kim, I know your ministry is towards women and you encourage women a lot. What would be your message generally to women as it regards relationships and marriage?
I think that we put a lot of emphasis in our academic development. We go to, of course, primary school, secondary school, tertiary education, courses, etc. But we don't put enough investment in preparing for life, and in particular preparing for marriage. So a lot of people get married and they are totally ill-equipped to handle marriage. So I would say that you need to balance it, because marriage is like, it impacts the entire life. And if we want, marriage impacts society as well, so we need to do better with it. And I feel also that women, we need a lot of training, especially when it comes to relating to men.
Yeah.
We live in a society where men are just being disrespected, and we don't value men as we once did in the past. I mean, a lot of things have happened that probably contributed to it, and there have been a lot of abusive men and unhealthy households. But I think we are going into another extreme where we don't value men, we emasculate them. And that's very dangerous. We need men to be a healthy society.
Yeah, that's so true. I agree with you. And I think your content is so good. So where can people find you?
So I have two main platforms for this. I have a blog, and I write articles regularly. It's www.petalsbloom.com.
Yeah.
And I'm also on YouTube at Petals Bloom on Christian relationships.
Yeah.
And so I have like two main sets of target audience. The older women, they seem to prefer the articles, have more in-depth knowledge. And the younger women, say 18 to 24, thereabouts, they are into the YouTube.
Okay.
So those are the analytics that I have. And you can also get little snippets on Twitter, on Instagram. Instagram is petals.bloom. And Facebook is Petals Bloom blog. Twitter is, I think, is bloom_petals. And I'm also on Pinterest.
Thank you so much, Kim. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Ryan. I really enjoyed it. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ryan.
What's your favorite color? Mine is green. While you're thinking about it, why don't you consider subscribing? What we do here is that we help you and your goals to have a nice stick-to-itiveness in your relationship. So see you in the next video.